How's it going, YouTube? Oxy here, and welcome back to the channel. As the title suggests, today's video I'm going to be discussing the various ways the MonsterVerse can go after Godzilla vs. Kong. Obviously, we have the movie coming up this Wednesday, March 31st. I got my ticket, gonna go see it, and be on the lookout for, of course, next Saturdays, not Tuesdays. Obviously, the movie comes out after. I have a special video for you guys, but a week from today, video will be the review itself. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. But yeah, guys, today's video gonna be discussing the two main possible ways the MonsterVerse can go from here. So the first one, if you haven't seen my last video, go check it out. Go ahead, go click out. I can wait. No, but in all seriousness, guys, in my last video, I talk about who I think will win, and of course, spoiler warning, right? Or, I said that I think Kong would win. It makes sense. Obviously, if you're in the know, Godzilla and all his gang of monsters are Toho licensed, so Legendary does not own them. Warner Bros., right, the producers of the movie, do not own them, and the contract is up, this movie, Godzilla vs. Kong. But, so interesting news. So, when the MonsterVerse started out, 2014, that was initially all that was agreed upon, and then due to the success of that movie, the contract was extended to include 3 movies, which were Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. And this is the end of that. Now, this is all, of course, theorizing that this movie does well, which from what it seems, and even reviews, it's actually looking pretty good, so I'm actually pumped that, monsters, kaijus and whatnot getting respect, getting that, Hollywood approval, if you will. And, yeah, so we're just assuming it's all gonna continue on after GVK. And, yeah, so my first theory is, well, like I said, I think Kong will win, just my speculation. And that's where they'll go, obviously, to write off Godzilla, because Toho has said that, they want to focus more on their own franchise. Obviously, Shin Godzilla was a huge hit, great movie, from what I've heard. I haven't seen it yet, but definitely on my list, on my radar to look out for. And, yeah, so they want to continue it, and I guess what better way to write off Godzilla than Kong beating him? And my first theory, or the way it'll continue, is Kong, following Kong. The idea is that he's only been referred to as Kong, and then with his win in the movie, he'll be formally addressed as, King Kong. And, to me it adds up, the logic's there. And, yeah, obviously the obvious choices go with the sequel, right? We had Kong Skull Island, then we could have King Kong, I guess a proper King Kong, call it Kong 2, whatever. And that would be the focus. And of course, I guess this branch, we'll call it. And that's not to say that either one of these two main theories cannot cross, but of course, just for the sake of the video, this branch is obviously follow Kong as the king, right? The protector of the world, whatever. King of the monsters. And being that the Toho monsters would, in this timeline, let's say, are out, that's why Legendary has all its original monsters. We have the Mutos. We have, I really love Behemoth, the woolly mammoth looking monster. And you get the idea. They've introduced new monsters into the movie. And it's just something that's what they could follow. Of course, they've teased Hollow Earth, and from the trailers, it seems like Kong does go into the Hollow Earth to, retrieve the axe, and it talks about the Great War. And, of course, we could have a Kong 2. Maybe it's just him, I guess the movie could be about him going into the Hollow Earth, and then, of course, we'd have new foes. Maybe have creatures like the aforementioned Behemoth or like the Muto Prime, right? Have creatures like that. Either he fights them or we have like a team up, right? Like similar to King of the Monsters, there's like a team up, right? Like good guys, bad guys. And yeah, that's where I see it. Like I guess being realistic, that's where I see it going. And like for me, Branch 2, which we'll get into, is like what I would like. So Branch 2 is basically the flip side. It's pretty much keeping the Toho monsters. I mean, come on. We all love Godzilla. We all love, Mothra, Ghidorah, etc. And just new introductions. I mean, I guess you can take it both ways. Because 2, they have teased a lot. Obviously, if you saw King of the Monsters, they tease, like, again, spoiler warning, you've been warned. They have the Oxygen Destroyer, which was in the original 1954 Gojira, which Dr. Serizawa, the original, yes, in the new movies, the Doctor is also named Serizawa, but obviously it's a callback. In the original, they had the Oxygen Destroyer, a weapon more powerful than the atomic bomb, to kill the original Godzilla. He dies in the original. And, yeah, they used it in King of the Monsters, so as avid fans like me would assume, what monster, what kaiju was created by the Oxygen Destroyer? Destroya. And I would love to see Destroya, and I love the consensus that everybody thinks, or I guess is like agreed that Destroya would make a great, like, big bad for the MonsterVerse. I guess here, put into terms for MCU fans, Thanos. Basically, Destroya is the Thanos, because, again, just like in that movie, Godzilla vs. Destroya, 1995, Godzilla's killed. And then, of course, Junior takes his place. But you get the idea, like, Destroya was a formidable foe, that, like, he has multiple forms, right? I guess the idea is Destroya is, like, some, like a crustacean creature. Think of it like a radioactive crab, or lobster from the Precambrian era. And yeah, it's like he mutated because of the Oxygen Destroyer. And yeah, I guess the theory is that when they used it to kill Ghidorah and Godzilla, obviously it failed. It just injured Godzilla. That was like the whole, so they could come back to that and say, like, a crustacean, a creature in the blast radius became infected, and obviously that's Destroya. But yeah, I think, I mean, of course, this is all about, like, just adding more Toho monsters. I mean, like I said, Destroya could be a great big bad, like, final, like, way off. I guess they do in like 10, 20 years when they want to end the MonsterVerse. They do, like, a Final Wars again, or Destroy All Monsters, right? And Destroya is, like, the big villain that everybody teams up to defeat, right? Or, yeah. And then, of course, we could have creatures like just fan favorites. I mean, Gigan. Again, Ghidorah in King of the Monsters is an alien. They flat out say he's not from this world. So they've already introduced aliens. And again, spoiler warning for people, you don't want to get spoiled on Godzilla vs. Kong. Obviously, it's been leaked. You've been warned. Mechagodzilla's in the movie. So, we have aliens, we have robots, so that opens the door to, like, so many, you got Gigan, another alien, right? And, I mean, he's a fan favorite. Personally, I love this Final Wars design with the chainsaw hands, We could have Gigan. With robots, we could have, I guess, like, obviously we'll have Mechagodzilla. We could have, like, King Ghidorah, which I thought they teased at the end of King of the Monsters in the post-credit scene when you see, the Apex, I forget the guy's name, the old guy, you see him basically taking the Ghidorah head that was, like, cut off by Godzilla and thrown in the sea. And I was like, are they going to do a Mecha Ghidorah? And obviously, with the introduction of Mecha Godzilla, it makes sense. I mean, hey, we could have Mogera. I mean, I think Mogera doesn't get enough love. I think he's cool, I guess, like, because Mecha G, from what it seems, like all the teases and leaks, he is human made, and of course, if you know, the original Mechagodzilla was alien made, and then eventually, like, Kiryu was the man made Mecha Godzilla. But yeah, Mogera would be a cool option. I mean, it's outlandish, but come on. I think we all love Jet Jaguar. You know, we all love our Conehead. Like, he'd be cool to see. I mean, sure, maybe not to the extreme wacky where he can, like, grow, you know, like on some, you know what I mean? On some, like, Goliath, Ant-Man stuff. Like, he can just grow and stuff. But, Jet, come on. Like, let's get a Jet Jaguar. I mean, you could tie it in, I guess, with Pacific Rim, you know? He's a Jaeger. Like, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, you get the idea. This side is more like just introducing Toho creatures, which I think we would all love. And from what it seems like, the Godzilla 2014 up until GVK, all the movies have actually been successful. Like, they've made money, profitable. And it's just like, you know, why, I guess the consensus is, like, Toho, like, come on, you know, you gotta renew it. I mean, obviously, they make money too. Don't forget, all of these monsters are licensed from them. They get a cut, you know, of all the profit. And it's just like, it'd be a shame for it to end here. And yeah, it's like, I mean, personally, like, I would love to see Biollante. I think she would be fantastic, especially with the redesign. And again, another cool theory I've seen, which I just love, like, you know, it adds up. So, in King of the Monsters, Millie Bobby Brown's character, again, sorry, I'm not good with the names. I've seen a theory that's like maybe later on in the MonsterVerse, she eventually dies. And if you're familiar with Biollante, she's like this plant monster mixed with human cells and Godzilla cells. What if Millie is the human? Like, you know, it's her cells mixed with, of course, Godzilla and, you know, Rose, and you get Biollante. I think that'd be pretty crazy, you know, because she's coming back for this movie, like, her family, the father is, I believe the mother too. You get the idea. They're sticking with these characters, and it's like, what if, I don't know, that'd be crazy. It's like, what if they did that? What if Millie is, like, Biollante, you could say, right? Like, the human component of her. I mean, she's one of my favorite kaiju. She's got an amazing design. Very underappreciated when she came out, because she was, like, if I'm not mistaken, like, the first original kaiju since the Showa era. I mean, of course, her move, I think she was the second Heisei film. And, of course, being an unknown monster, it was like the movie wasn't a huge success. But I love to see her. And then who could forget about Hedorah? I mean, that movie's a trip, you know. If you're, like, it's, like, very psychedelic, right? It had that whole, like, anti-pollution message. But, yeah, Hedorah, like, a modern take. I mean, I don't know how that would work, right? Being the smog monster, like, how would he get a physical form? I mean, maybe he's too out there. But yeah, it'd just be awesome to see. And those are like the main two, I guess, paths I see them taking. Now again, perfect world, it's just one, right? You have the Toho monsters and then Kong with Legendary's original creatures like Behemoth and whatnot. And they're all just, you know, they move from there. It just gives so much more, like, to do, right? So many more characters that, like, they could have solo films. Like, I'd love to see a Mothra film. I mean, hey, Baragon, we could introduce, you get the idea. Just introduce, like, new creatures. King Caesar, like, each have their own movies, build up, like, obviously more bad guys, more good guys. You get the idea. Maybe some neutral monsters. And yeah, now, this, it's not really a path, but I would just love to see it. So, we have Godzilla and Kong, arguably, well, no, the two biggest kaijus, period, right, of all cinema. But, you know, when it comes to kaijus, it's like, there's one guy missing, you know, and he's not owned by Toho, again, not owned by Warner Bros. This is why I think it's out of left field, but could you imagine? We get Gamera in the mix. He's owned by Daiei, and of course Daiei, like, you know, mixed with, like, like, the last Gamera film was, like, '06, and it's like, can you imagine? Like, Just picture that. Picture, like, the final movie, you know, way out there. Let's call it Destroy All Monsters, right? You got, like, Godzilla, King Kong, and Gamera teaming up to defeat Destroya or something. You know, that'd be amazing. But yeah, can you imagine Gamera in the MonsterVerse? I would love to see it. Again, highly unlikely, being that, you know, that splits the pot even more. So to make it profitable, it'd be, you know, like, you need to make more money for all parties to be happy. But yeah, I'd love to see it. I mean, even if it's, like, for one movie, like, I don't know, he gets killed off or something, or they leave it, like, you know, he goes off, you know, like, we don't see him. It'd be amazing. Just imagine that, the three monsters together. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on where I could see the MonsterVerse going from here. Again, personally, I want just both a mixture of the two, of what I said about, like, they go the Kong route, like, no Toho monsters, or obviously just Toho. Just combine it all, please. Like, Toho, renew the license. Hopefully the movie does well. Go see it. And to be honest with you, I'm probably going to see it multiple times. Like, I don't know. This is, like, it's exciting as a fan. This is probably, like, the first movie in years that I'm honestly, like, you know, like, excited for it. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Would you like? Is there any monster you would like to see in the MonsterVerse? Again, my pick is Gamera. Again, unlikely, but can you imagine? That'd just be fantastic. But yeah, guys, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. Thank you for your continued support, and be on the lookout. Like I said, next Tuesday's video won't be MonsterVerse related. It'll be an unboxing, a special one, pretty cool one. And then of course Saturday's video, I'll have the review up for Godzilla vs. Kong. And yeah, let me know, you know, let me know what you guys think of this video. Be on the lookout, and as always, guys, take care.